Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hue. So I'm noticing on the menu here, you've got all these icons. Resume has a moon on it, Restart has a triangle with a line, Start New Game has an hourglass, Options has what it looks like a necklace, and Map has what looks like 2 points on a compass. And then Quit is a circle with a cross in the middle, or plus sign in the middle. Um, and then we found out in the last recording that you can actually teleport from one level to another. And then when you look at the controls, you have that same buttons in almost the exact same order, with the exception of the color wheel, which has this smaller circle with a cross attached to it. And then in this option, it's different words associated with the symbols. So that almost seems like certain buttons would actually immediately jump to those controls in the menu, but it's not the case. I don't think. No, because like moving left is left on the arrow stick. If I hit left on the arrow stick on this menu, it doesn't take me into the controls menu. Now let's see if that stutter, that lag we saw last time, occurs again. It might just be a case of whenever I start recording, something weird happens. Nope. Not noticing anything here other than the fact that we can swing around. Okay, so we're gonna get another monologue. Let's listen to that while we move.
Dr. Gray soon became my assigned mentor, and I can't help but feel he somehow had a hand in it. Our fires burnt brightest when we worked together. It felt like we could achieve anything. We discovered more about colour than I could ever have imagined. We split light, mapped spectrums, we painted. We laughed. We worked long hours, and soon our goal became all-consuming. We were vessels. The work became more important than us, and we knew it.
Interesting. So it almost seems like she has a romance with Dr. Gray, not Hugh, maybe both. And maybe this is a case that Hugh is actually a split off of Dr. Gray, and like Hugh is the good part of Dr. Gray, and Dr. Gray, the remaining parts are just the evil parts. Hugh looks really ridiculous when he's climbing up a ladder, I noticed, in all of this. And let's see. I guess we have another section here that we can't do anything with yet, which probably indicates that that's where we're going to return from. Now, the thing here I'd like to see, normally I don't need to really complain or criticize controls, but because you have the colors on the right analog stick, and because some of the movements are asking you to just flick the right analog stick as fast as possible, the dead zone should probably be reduced in this case. You are having to come to the very edge to change the colors, whereas it would be nicer if you could just be a little bit closer towards the center. Like, I'm having to tilt the right analog stick about 70 to 80% before it even brings up the menu, leaving only about 20% difference there. Meanwhile, you're not using the analog stick for anything else. So yeah, in that I would have liked to see some tweaks. there's a lot of physics being played with here, and I imagine this might be a game that they were developing to learn some physics, because while you do have strings and chains here with sound effects, it's not really playing any actual role in the gameplay. Maybe I am gonna develop some way to jump higher. Okay. So I needed to move things around. I guess what this is doing, I mean, that's not doing anything though. So there must be something else to this. Oh, I was supposed to push this box. Interesting, I wasn't expecting that at all. So Hugh does have this fairly large level of, not sure what the right color will be. Maybe it's always just default back to blue. Like, he has a very long leap, and so definitely is going to play a role, I think. Going all over the place. Yep. So, can we grab or move the bigger boxes? No. So is it only ones that have a crossbar can be moved, or is it only ones that are of a certain size can be moved? It was more puzzling than I was expecting, and now we're introducing a new gimmick of keys. Which, okay. That alone is not going to be enough. So what I imagine we're doing, there is no crossbar on these taller ones. Come to look at it. Now, the color of orange mixing with the color of orange is making a darker red now. Which that doesn't fully make sense. I wonder if we might, at some point, need to use that knowledge to accomplish something else. And so now we have a question about materials, too. If I push this, then the brick wall is so there's 3 of these. So the way I think this is all going to play is we're probably going to do something along the lines of that, and then think probably something along the lines of this. Something along the lines of that. So now everything up top should be imbalanced. Alright, well this is going to kind of suck because we're going to have to jump and change it to blue in the same move. And then we're going to have to jump and change it to purple in the same move. But it slows down time, so that is doable. There is almost certainly a better order in which I could have arranged that, so I wouldn't have had to do all that extra jumping. Okay. If I turn it to blue, there's not going to be any safety at all. So it's either come over here and do that, but then that kills you. So either this is going to be major challenges here. Yep, I don't think you get a choice here. I think you have to keep on running. And crumbling structures now. They do respawn after a time, but not enough time that you could jump probably from one platform back to the previous platform and back. Yeah. So it definitely seems to me like what we're doing here is we're establishing a new baseline, yeah, of just how much jumping and platforming is necessary. And it feels like there should be a secret somewhere on all of this. Let's see. Figment of your imagination achievement just unlocked. Yeah, I don't think there's really a way to make that jump. Okay, we make that jump, and then what? The rocks touch us, and then we die immediately while they're rolling. It's just very basic programming they have there, that if the rocks are rolling, then you are going to die. So I guess maybe the idea is to get the rock to land here. Meanwhile, do that, and you do that, and you're doomed. Then you could go back to this spot, I guess. You can go over here, and then that won't change anything. So it is very much just you're gonna jump. And now that the rocks are stationary, you should be relatively safe. You can't take this rock and you can't walk across the wall to try and get it to roll. Yeah, and I doubt there's any like secret up there. So maybe this is just a bigger area. That may just be the case where this is a bigger level. Interesting. You have skeletons hanging. Hey, watch it, buddy. Skeletons hanging over here. You'll never get under my skin. So there is just some darkness that still feels like it is in this world. And perhaps there is some commentary you could derive around the idea of, well, here's a game that implies that the real world should be colorful and interesting and like more safe and secure and kid friendly, but in reality there is just a lot of danger around all this. Whoops. So this is basically the same puzzle, it's just you're going upward now. And whatever color you're in is going to be a color you're safe from. But only that color. And so you're going to have to swap very quickly. Too quickly, frankly, for my taste. Feels like a poor platforming gamer would struggle to get to that point. And here we are, back into a world that by default is colorless. And once again, we're seeing this shaman-like character look at us and then turn away and walk away. Is it waiting for me to be able to recognize something in a certain color and see him or her? Or is it looking at me and looking to see if I have all the colors? So now we have what I think is our first kind of derivative color. And I suppose what you could do as a gimmick here, let's see if we run into any problem running down this hill. Nope. So that one leg just seems weirdly not weird to have come out of nowhere. Maybe I alt-tabbed out of the game and then alt-tabbed back in. Maybe that was the problem. Or I clicked on a window on my second monitor. But even that shouldn't cause lagging. None of that should. So maybe there's going to be a gimmick where when you select this color, it affects the purple. So we'll call this magenta, we'll call this purple. Maybe there's a color here too, so maybe it will be a case where the colors to the exact edges play a role. if that's the case, then either this color or this color maybe will play even a different role.
It's funny, I don't remember much after that day on the grass. I do know that Dr. Gray and I spent many a time together. I would compliment him on his work and his cheeks would flush with a pinkness. He'd notice and change the subject, embarrassed. This work we were doing together, it didn't feel much like work anymore.
I wonder if the female voice here isn't actually just a totally imaginary character. And that would explain why she says that she is in an invisible spectrum, ultraviolet. Okay, so there is a collectible here, but not a single color would work. And that's the first collectible we've even seen. And we know that there's 4, which does imply to me we've probably missed quite a bit. Unfortunately, you have this problem where Braid already kind of played with that idea of somebody being crazy or mistaken and having a fictional relationship to a female character. And effectively the person turning out to be a crazy stalker. You don't want to jump now because we die. Well, how are you supposed to pull that one off? Because you can't change things while they're happening. And honestly, I don't know how far you can really even take a story like that anyways, of being deluded. It's something that has been done in a lot of stories, and it comes off like it's supposed to be a big twist. BioShock Infinite, I guess, might be a really good example of that, where you have a character who is revealed to have been deluded the whole time, and often it just plays off in a sense that the players of the game just feel like they are being misled, or that they have been misled. Okay. So I can't get to the box if it's in one color. I can't do anything else. So this probably is a case where we need to just get a slight edge there. Then we're gonna have to move this. Unfortunately, I do feel like this is where you're gonna start to see the last of the gimmicks in this game. I don't see how it's gonna get more complicated than this. It's just going to be creating a puzzle where you swap around a lot of places and then trying to figure out how that's all supposed to play. There are limited places here where you can really swap things around, which probably does mean that there are more restricted than you would think ways to solve this puzzle. Like, in that spot it really can only be blue or orange. From this spot it really could be any color, but this would be the only color that wouldn't help at all. And then once we get to this spot, it's got to be either purple. If it was purple, we couldn't do anything, so it's probably got to be orange. Even there, we can't swap because we're in things. So it's got to be blue, then purple to come up this direction. So now we have yet another swap spot. But that swap spot doesn't work. So that may have looked more complicated than it actually was. And I keep expecting some level of like boss or something to occur, but it just doesn't feel like that's how that's gonna go. So the question here is, if we fall down here and then jump, can we make it back up? Yes, we can. And then this blue brick, and then a purple brick. Was I supposed to... Was I supposed to do something here? It's the last swapping, which is going to potentially make this sound effect fairly annoying. Okay. I guess the blue probably has to stay on the right. So then, is there a way to get to the next spot? Really can't get up high enough. There. So did I mess up here? Am I just missing something? Because this purple box can't ever be where it needs to be. Which then means need one here. And I don't want to just reset things for no reason. Let's just make sure we swap to everything over here just to make sure. Okay, here's my thought. Maybe it all works. Maybe that will just work, even though it doesn't feel like it would just work. Falling down here, and falling down here. Nope. You're just not getting that level of height. Let's go back and then go back here. Let's try to reevaluate maybe what was supposed to happen. If I had one of these boxes before the other boxes, would that matter? No, I don't think it really would. See, you can fall, but not going to be able to jump while falling. So that changes things slightly. So we can get here, we can get here. Let's now ask the question. Can we make the box disappear? Yes. Could we walk backwards? Yeah, that's what needs to happen. And we don't have to actually be that precious with it. We just need to then make the box disappear until we get to that spot. But we are going to have to be more specific about which column goes where. So this is all a trick around rebuilding stairs. And pushing this down. putting it on the other side. Interesting. Yeah. And we will end this episode here. I keep expecting to run into something that would feel like a boss level puzzle. Instead, it does just feel like it is very much just incremental increases in challenge, which is expected for a game like this. There was definitely a danger that it felt like the game might be only 2 hours long. At this point, I'm feeling closer to 3 or 4 hours at minimum, and definitely it could be 3 times that long if all of a sudden we need to swap between 6 or 7 different colors to solve every puzzle. It might get very redundant if that becomes the case. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching. Thanks.